Have you ever been to a urinal that has ice in it?
Yes.
What is the purpose?
No idea.
Do you know what the purpose is?
I think there's a special. First off, there's no splashback, so there's that level.
Fair.
I think that's probably the main purpose. But the second purpose, which I think is enjoyable, is watching the ice melt as you urinate is a satisfying feeling.
It is fun.
This is the
So we're with Matt Kuscher at Abre Camino for the first time ever.
Welcome to Pancom Podcast, live from El Vecino in beautiful downtown Miami, located 2 blocks away from the Miami Heat Arena. Today, we have guest Matt Kuscher of all these wonderful spots here in Miami. Matt, say hi to the people.
Just want to say the parking was amazing down here. Only took me about 25 minutes to find a space.
Oh, man.
Typical Miami problems.
Fuck
Hello,
me.
everybody. I'm glad I popped the cherry here. I'm glad Vecino is the new Pancom Podcast home.
Is it? No, we
Should
haven't
be.
decided that yet.
Oh, okay.
No,
It's
this
official.
is. This is definitely just a test with you.
Hopefully I pass the test.
No, I mean not you, just the location.
I was aware I wasn't actually being tested.
I mean, you know, we can give you a test later. Right.
What are we talking about today?
Mike Beltrán is host A game right now.
Listen, it's been a really
What's
long,
up with those
like,
questions
3 or
you're
4.
holding in your hand right there?
Oh
you have
man,
for
no
me?
questions.
Seems
I've
like
never
it.
written a question for any podcast other than the one we did with Jean George. Right? That was the only one?
That sounds right.
Lee
Yeah.
Schrager?
Yeah.
Fuck Lee Schrager. No, that was definitely not the only. That definitely had no questions ready for that one. You know, it's been a while. I'm rusty when it comes to podcasts right now. I think we've only recorded one in the last 2 months, 3 months.
So here's a fun fact.
Something
I actually,
like that,
I ride my bike every week, and I typically listen to your podcast when I ride my bike. Because
Wow.
it's a good hour, while I'm riding.
That's amazing.
And so it bothers me when there's not new episodes. So I do bother Nick from time to time asking when this is.
We're back, baby.
Yeah, so I would appreciate it if you came back.
We're back, and we're back with a vengeance. Right now, the only person on the guest list is you.
How many other people dropped out before I came?
Just a lot. It's been an endless amount of asking people, and they're like, "Who are you?" And then we just back away.
So one feature of doing this at Abre Camino is that there's people in the humidor, so I'm going to leave, and you're
Oh, that's perfect.
totally by yourself.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Are you pumped to have the Washington football team, also known as the Commanders, back?
You're such an asshole.
I just want to know. It's a very important question.
So
for
with
me
the
to
new
ask.
ownership, I was hoping that they would possibly change the name again to something with skins or hogs or pigs or
But
something.
they just bought the team a month ago.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
they'd
change
already
it
said that they
so late.
They just changed the name.
Yeah.
So everybody from my hometown thinks I'm the biggest Dolphins fan in the world.
That's cool. Thank you.
I don't know if you guys think that, but I'm not.
No, I don't think you are. You know, I was actually, because I'm a big Twitterer, right? And obviously, everyone in the world knows Aaron Rodgers lasted 75 seconds, which is
amazing.
pretty normal for a dude. 75 seconds in his Jets tenure. And then there was a tweet by one of these bobblehead fucking football analysts, whatever. It's this is the most tragic event to happen to a fan base and an organization for a player and this and that. And then someone just responds on the bottom, Sean Taylor died.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, that's a really good point.
So the Sean Taylor, I was, as you know, a diehard Skins fan. When Sean Taylor died, they played Tampa that weekend. So I drove to Tampa.
It was mid-season?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
it was,
Honestly, I don't remember.
It was the day after. I drove to Tampa to go see the game because obviously I'm a Skins fan. So I went to Tampa, drove and saw the game.
Skins, also known currently as the Commanders. But
Yes.
go ahead.
I was driving back from Tampa when I heard the news. And while I was at the game, I was thinking to myself, why isn't he at the game? You get hurt, but sometimes you still attend.
Yeah.
And I noticed that he wasn't there, and I don't know if it bothered me at the time, but I was just I noticed it. And when I heard that the next day, it was that. And then I don't know if you know this, but I was actually at the funeral.
Yeah.
It was at FIU. It was a huge thing. They interviewed me because they thought I came from Washington for the funeral, which I did not.
Right.
But I was obviously a huge Sean Taylor fan. I own a Hurricane Sean Taylor jersey, even though I'm not a Hurricane football fan.
Do you like college football?
I like FIU Golden Panthers. I had season tickets 2 years ago.
Right. Okay. I guess
Hilton?
I know. That's the claim to fame. T.Y. Hilton. I mean, he's very
And
good.
Mario Cristobal. He brought him there.
Yeah, I mean, Mario played at UM though,
Correct.
and then he really cut his teeth at Oregon.
Well, he took us to a bowl game. He won a bowl game. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Listen,
Little Caesars
Mario is my guy. This is the whole reason I've wanted him at UM for over a decade now. So
Yeah.
he's definitely my guy.
No, he represents Miami in the best way.
How do we feel about having football back? It's just a very emotional experience for me to have football back. So I feel like almost more like myself when there's football on TV to watch.
Yeah.
Am I the only person that feels
No,
like
I think
this?
you're like everybody, but you're talking to the wrong guy because for the first time in my 45-year life, I don't care about football. Since I don't have a team anymore, I'm the most casual.
Wait, so you're swearing off of your football team completely because you don't like their name?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not.
Just because you don't like the name?
I'm not a whatever you called them fan. They could have changed their name, it's fine, but the Skins needed to be in there.
So if it goes back to the Redskins, are you back to a fan?
100% I'll be back.
We're
if they went back to
diving
anything
deep right now.
Skins,
This
if
is
they even called them the
hot button
Chicken
shit.
Skins.
Huh?
The Washington Chicken Skins, I'm on there. As long as I say go Skins.
So when people tell you this is like morally incorrect to call them the Redskins, what is your response?
I don't have an opinion. It could offend somebody, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't offend someone. So if that's the case, that's fine. I don't care that they changed their name. I just don't like that they took Skins out of the name.
Got
to me,
it.
that was when you grow up for something for 45 years rooting for something,
listening.
and they take it away and then give you like a new shiny thing.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm not. And
I mean, I get it. If they changed the Miami Dolphins to the Miami Manatees, I'd probably be upset.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be about it.
By the way,
would
they've
love
sucked for 25 years on top of that. And you don't live in Miami anymore because now I don't live in D.C.
Sure.
So
yeah, I mean, the
it's-
Dolphins have sucked pretty much my entire life.
Dolphins
So, I
and
mean,
the Skins are the same. Good
is it?
off-season teams.
When's the last time that you guys
Horrible
went to a
regular
Super Bowl?
season. 92, I won $75, drank a beer, and won $75 in a football pool.
So still, I mean, that was before us, right? I wasn't even born. I wasn't even alive last time we went to a Super Bowl. I don't think, right? It was 85, but it was...
You went 84 against the Skins. We beat you.
Right. Thanks. You're welcome. Now, the Redskins, also the Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins.
Do you prefer Commanders or the Washington football team?
The football team's a great name.
Actually,
I love that
I
name.
love
I
that
actually
name.
thought that was a really good name.
Really
the Washington
good
football
name.
team was good, and then they came out with the Commanders, and I'm like, we're going Commando, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, this is getting
It's
weird.
horrible. The Washington football team, that was classic.
Yeah.
So,
You're wearing the Scoop Records. Is that happening?
no, it's not.
Oh,
No.
It's not happening.
it's laundry day
Thanks for
then.
throwing me out there. Yeah. Maybe we'll edit that part out.
So, Mike, I want to say thank you because I'm doing, as you know, I'm working with Sebastian Strong, and I'm on the board of directors trying to raise funds, and it's Kids Awareness Month, and you quickly said yes when I called and asked you to participate in making a drink called the Sebastian, where we're getting proceeds to them, and you offered up, I think, 2 of your places.
2, yeah. Well, the 2 that sell the most booze.
So I really appreciate that because September is Kids Cancer Month, Awareness
Yeah.
Month, and
Well, it's an alumni from my high school.
that's correct. He went to Columbus High
What,
School.
do you know what year that was?
I believe he died around 7 years ago. So,
Yeah,
do
so
the
it's
math.
way after my time, but yeah, I do remember the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a good cause, you know. I don't drink mezcal cocktails, but when I went to the Gibson to have them, I got real banged up real fast because I don't drink mezcal ever. So I added to the pool money, so it's good.
This episode of Pan Con Podcast is brought to you by Perla Specialty Roasters. Perla produces an award-winning coffee portfolio. They are a 4-time Good Food Award finalist and 2-time winner. Perla uses coffee directly sourced from around the world using relationships on the farm level. They view their coffee portfolio as a way for coffee partners, like Abre Hospitality Group, to further enhance their guest experience.
I really love what their brand represents from a local standpoint. They're very immersed in the community, and they've been very supportive of all of our places, even before we used to serve Perla. So when we decided to partner with them and make them our coffee provider across the board, they've been great to work with.
And with such intention placed on the food and bar program, shouldn't your restaurant have the same attention to detail? Their espresso fino blend was specifically designed to pair great with milk, making it amazing for latte or cortadito. Perla's biggest competition is the large, soulless, multinational roasting operations. You like that soulless?
So good. It's like the final boss. You have to beat the soulless,
The big
multinational
fucking Folgers
roasting-
monster or something.
roasting operations. It's like a Maxwell House thing walking up to you. It's good.
They can also solve equipment needs with sales, leasing, and service operations available at their disposal. With lightning fast order fulfillment, orders roast and ship the same day. Sometimes Chug's Diner gets its order the same day the coffee was roasted.
I can 100% say that that's actually happened more than once. From a customer service standpoint, they're pretty incredible to work with for sure.
With initial and ongoing staff training to make sure that their coffee is tasting on point.
Yeah, I think there's 2 points there that are incredibly true, just because I've lived them. It's like when it comes to equipment issues, how willing they are to help us in the maintenance standpoint of equipment, because coffee equipment, unless you have years and years of knowledge, you have no idea how to even start. And then the ongoing staff training, it's something that they talk about with us several times, whether they want to come in and do training us on how to make the coffee or just education on the coffee. They've been really great.
To get all of your coffee situation on point, drinkperla.com. That's drinkperla.com, drinkperla.com, to get your coffee situation on point and move away from those soulless operations.
Maxwell House, big boss.
So I want to tell you something else I'm working on. Hopefully it comes to fruition. I don't know if I told you this or not, but and Nick, you might like this too. So I'm working with Victoria and Vanessa, who put on the Amparo Experience. Did I tell you this yet or no?
No.
They put on the Amparo Experience, obviously, and they got together with Christy, who's on a side note, had a 7-year-old birthday party that me and Nick got into a fight at for about 3 hours.
I heard about this very intense fight. I can't wait to dive into about what the fight was about. But we'll sidebar that.
She coordinated with them, and they're coming up together to do the story of Hialeah through Stevens Deli. So, as cool. In the 50s and 60s, Hialeah had a different, brand you could call it for what it is today. Yeah. And basically the evolution of how it turned into a Jewish, textile neighborhood with lots of delis and the casino there. And obviously now it's more of a, blue-collar Cuban community. And they want to do a whole story through Stevens Deli. And right now we're going through funding, trying to get money from FIU and Hialeah. And
they were at Chug's yesterday having lunch discussing this.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're the best. It's funny you talk about textiles in Hialeah, because that's what my family used to do. And we had a textile factory in Hialeah. And it was I grew up pallets and pallets of fabrics, and they come in these big ass rolls, and then you would have the 3 gigantic tables in the middle of the factory or the warehouse with just ladies just banging out clothes, and then I would just climb up to the top and just pass out. I'm like, Dad, I'm working. I was 6, but that's
you didn't want to go into the textile industry?
No. I
sexy.
absolutely did not want to. I mean, I had one of my first jobs when I was 14 or 15 in one of my dad's warehouses, unloading 18-wheelers over a summer. And it was that's why when in kitchens people are like, oh, it's hot. I'm like, no, this is not hot, man. You don't understand hot. When your sweat is sweating and you're it's a different thing coming out of your body. You feel that's not sweat, that's real sweat. So, anyways, how's summer been? Has it been great for you?
Sales wise?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I've said this. My strategy is really focused on customer loyalty and really getting to do different things with my guests, focusing on my first-time guests, my birthday guests, and really building a loyal clientele as much as possible, so that when all these bullshit restaurants start running out of money that came here during COVID and they start going out of business, we'll be there standing. So to answer your question, it's helped me focus on cutting costs and focus on guests and customer relations. But yeah, it's obviously been every other summer in Miami.
Do you feel like some of these newer, bigger people are starting to fade away because they just saw for the first time their first real Miami summer?
Not only saw, but felt.
Ah.
This is a business, so if you're not making money, you're not making money. So I'm waiting to see. For I used to watch like the New Times. It'd be like, all right, 10 restaurants opening, 10 restaurants closing. I haven't seen a restaurant in there saying they're closing in a year and a half. And I
don't know if they do that anymore, though.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but
right.
Just the general aspect of that. So yeah, I think in the next 6 to 8 months we're going to start seeing a lot of restaurants closing. Not that I want them to close, but I'm just prepared for that.
I mean, I think there's a good amount of people that aren't really adding much to the fiber of our landscape. I think they're just here because they thought Miami was going to be this cash cow for a decade, and I think a lot of people knew better than that. There's a lot of great parts of running a business in Miami, and there's a lot of difficulties too. And I think a lot of people came here expecting it to just be like balls to the wall for fucking 12 months out of the year, and it's never been that way.
Never.
Well, I think, we experienced an interesting 24 months, but at the same time, it's like, that was only 24 months in the 20 years that I've been doing this.
Yeah, I mean, some of my, it used to be where, like in some of my local markets, we'd actually be the same or slightly busier in the summertime, like in Hialeah.
Sure.
But, it's a purely local clientele. And that's kind of, all our restaurants are pretty much that. Obviously, we do get an influx of tourists or whatnot, but it's kind of boring. You want to talk about anything else?
No, I actually like talking about the financial part of our business. I mean, I think it's pretty fascinating, man.
Yeah. No, it is. I think I'm just, like I said, I think I'm still hungover from 2 days ago.
Well, I think it's well documented that Matt, myself, Zach the Baker, and Jose Mendin go out to dinner every 4 months. And I feel like this one, we hit it pretty hard.
You took a good video of the Cadillac, the Angelina.
Yeah.
I was very happy
I'll send it
with
to
that.
you. It was great. I mean, it made me miss my car even more.
It was the first time you guys all got to road in the Cadillac.
I mean, I've ridden in it before.
No, but all together.
Yeah, same time.
Same time. Yeah, I don't know. This summer, going back to that, this summer has been, to be honest with you, eye-opening in a good way for me to focus on new things. I took the unreasonable hospitality approach, and I push our team right now every day to give me something that is just next level of how can we wow our guests in a way that no one else can. And obviously you can't do that with everybody, but that's our goal. And so I think it opened our eyes to realize we need to do more things like that and get back to the basics. We do the crafts and crafts at Locale. We used to be very community-based, and I kind of lost that as I grew. And now we're going back to that. And so every last Thursday of the month, we do crafts and crafts, where the kids do arts and crafts, and they make their own ice cream and paint the high chairs, and then the adults get craft beers. And that's always been something that's brings us together. And now that Coconut Grove's changed completely, we kind of had to reintroduce ourselves as that community place. And so it forced us this summer to kind of do those things again, which is great.
I think that the opportunity, looking at the aspect of having a slower summertime, I used it as an opportunity to just dial in as much as I could from an operational perspective, because I think after next month we will have opened 5 locations in 24 months.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's a lot of stretching thin, working through, hustling through. And it's not, I think we always grind, but I also think that we could have been a little bit better in a lot of places. And I think that dialing that in, and I think we've made it a point to the last 6 months to really, I mean, this was even before things slowed down for summertime, which was really dial it in even more and look deeper of how we could be, not only better as operators, but better as management, better how to coach people better, how to lead people better, how to create better leaders. I think that was a big thing for me personally, is how do we motivate people to be better leaders, not just good at their job. And I think a lot of people, they kind of look at this slower time and say we're just slow or whatever. But for me, it's an opportunity for growth. And it sucks financially, don't get me wrong. It's the fucking most painful part. But it's what are you going to do, sit there and fucking sit in a corner and be I'm so sad because we're slow, or you're going to try to fucking improve, And I feel it was a huge benefit, and again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, yeah, it sucks to not have the same type of revenue that we did during high season, but it's not realistic. Miami has never been that way.
Never.
So I think it's I think it's also a good gut check for a lot of people I also think that it was a good opportunity for me, for sure, to just like kind of like improve and grow and like do certain things different. And I feel like, really like getting into like things a little bit more and improving each location better than it was during season is to prepare also to hopefully have a great season.
Right. No, those are all true. And I to even add to that, I took it as an opportunity to maybe do more for my staff, and so next week I'm taking my general managers on a surprise food trip. I don't even want to say where we're going because it might, if this comes out, then it's not a surprise. So we're meeting at the airport, and for 36 hours, we're going to just go to a city and just tear it up. Cool. And since I'm a big Dolphins fan, I'm going to take my kitchen managers to a Dolphins game.
Love that.
Tailgate with them.
Just whatever, let me know. I'll be there.
So, well, you got to get a job at Kush Hospitality first. And but it lets you think about those kind of outside the box things that you kind of forget sometimes when you're getting your ass kicked for 6 months.
Well, I think motivating people also in that regard of like, like we are, so like for example, I finally like I think built the core of a team at a place like Chug's that I think it deserves, and really like well-meaning kids. That really just want to grow and be better. Kids that, they're kind of like, they look at, a lot of them were porters and dishwashers like 4 or 5 months ago, and now they're doing 400 or 500 covers on a Saturday, banging out eggs and breakfast sandwiches and shit like that. And they always talked about like Ariete and this like it was like a methodical creature. Like they would go over there and be like, oh my God, it's so shiny. Actually Ariete is older than Chug.
Sure,
so
yeah.
It's not as nice. So I took them all there to dinner, and I worked in the kitchen with the guys. It was a pretty busy Monday night. It was just like 7 of them, and they were just kind of like in awe, and like I sat with them after and just talked about like why we did something like that. And it's like, because just because you work here now doesn't mean this is where you're going to work forever. But if you want to get to this next step, you have to do a lot of work in between. And if you watch the way that these people work and you watch what they do and how they operate, how they maneuver through a kitchen, like that's what you need to strive to be. So it doesn't matter whether you're flipping eggs or you're making monkfish Wellington or a duck press or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. If you care the same about a plate of eggs is how you're going to care about a duck press. That's just the reality of it. And it was like a really good experience for them. And it was like, for us it's like something small or whatever, but like for them it was good. And then we went to tours after and we just talked.
I think not more importantly, but equally as important is, the more they understand the brands and they can talk about it and understand that there's other things going on, the more they can relate to the guests or have pride in the company they work for.
Sure.
They had, just today, one of my managers sent me we're trying to work on a vermouth package, like where, you get basically a vermouth training and learn how to make vermouth and a vermouth and kind of education, like, for an intimate scenario, and I think it's amazing. And in the little package that my manager sent to me, it was like, oh, for the test run we'll invite the other managers, which seems obvious, but to me I said, why have I not invited my other managers to come to Victoria's and understand what vermouth is, even if they don't sell vermouth in their stores necessarily. They can talk about it to their guests if it comes up, and they can help, again, speak the brand all around. Me and you both have multiple concepts that are very, very different.
Right.
And so it's not like working at, Joe Schmo, where there's a million of them. They don't necessarily know or have been to all of the locations.
Well, this is something that I took from Schwartz when I worked for Schwartz. Like, he would send a team from Cyprus to go eat at Michael's, and then a team from Harry's to go eat at Cyprus. It was, because I believe when you have... Can I get another one? Yeah. When you have multiple locations, and think about it, you could definitely touch, 40... Yeah, please, sorry. When you have the opportunity to touch, like, at that time, Michael's and Harry's probably had 500 guests a day, let's just say, give or take. And you can educate them on other places where you're doing other things. I found that fascinating, right? Because you have this focused clientele that likes what you do, that come all the time. Tell them about the other shit you do and why they should like that one also. So it's something I adopted many years ago, but like now, a place like Chug's easily does like 300 people a day. We never did that before at Ariete. You know, we do 40 or 50 covers. It's different. But a place like Chug's that just has so much more volume and it touches so many more people, it's something that I've really taken, like, you know, dropping a check presenter with something that's going on at Stevens, but you're at Locale. You know, like, just that kind of shit. And thinking about it, like, me growing up in the kitchen, like, I was never exposed to stuff like that. But I sat in these manager meetings, these director meetings, that he would have with, like, fucking 30 people, and I would listen, and I'd be like, man, that's fascinating, and it's so smart. Because what do you need to, like, in a lot of ways, PR, like, what are they doing? They're sending a press release. There's a bunch of people that are consuming this information, just pretty much copying, pasting information, and then putting it on a thing for people to click it. When you could just do the same thing yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And the power is through the people making the place, right? It's like your people that you trust to run your thing. Who's going to talk better about it than them?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, typically we usually try to, every once in a while, once a year, move managers to different stores so they can manage at the other stores and see and get ideas.
That's interesting.
But and that's always worked. Maybe even just for like a lunch shift. And it's always comes out a super positive experience. But I rarely do what you said, which is like take them to eat at another one of the restaurants. Which now that I got this, Tatiana did this vermouth thing. Now I'm going to do that.
Of what you currently have happening, what is some of the things that are exciting you the most?
Well, professionally, I love vermouth, so I love Victoria's, because what we're doing there, no one in the country is doing. You know, I don't think anyone in the country really makes their own vermouth, let alone makes 2 vermouths in-house. Uh-huh. And so every time we get a new guest in there, we get to educate them on a very, very old traditional experience that is not really known in the United States. That's fun and awesome, and I happen to love it, so it's just passionate about it. So that's really cool. I'm really focused on hospitality right now. Like I said, I'm really the Unreasonable Hospitality. You know, obviously there's a book that I'm sure a lot of people read, but if you haven't, it's a great book. That remotivated me. I read that, and I read a book called Fans First about the Savannah Bananas, and just kind of making that fan experience and really, getting to every guest. That's been my focus, and I think that's what's motivating me and making me excited right now is kind of redoing that. So we had a meeting with our GMs, like, all right, what's going to be our birthday gift? And so now we have like a wheel. Well, every store is different, but if it's your birthday and you spin the wheel, and when you spin the wheel, you can get a free T-shirt or a drink or whatever it is. If it's a first-time guest, we're going to give you a keychain with it's just some sort of like funny experience with it. So just trying to make it. We already do cool things. I mean, if you walk through every one of our restaurants, every fucking corner
there's
has
there's a lot of color in your hospitality.
Yeah, every corner has a story, and I just want to keep it going and going and going. Right now, we're working on lollipops to give to every guest as like a departing gift.
That's cool.
And and as we spark those conversations, more things come from it. More things come from it. More things come from it. Because we do a lot of shit that people don't even realize we do. Like that Wheel of Fortune,
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, because I'm in the middle of reading that book.
Which one?
Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting and what stuck with me the most throughout the entire book is, like, the hospitality and the color part of it, right? Like, just the repetitive nature of that. When I think about that a lot, hospitality is structure and it's black and white, right? And then there's people that add color. And I say it all the time, is like, the people make the place. It's not the other way around. You could obviously have a great place, but if you have shitty people working there that don't care, it doesn't matter. So, like, the way he talks about color in hospitality, right? And, like, you could talk about it as an extra touch, or you could just talk about it as demeanor at a table, or demeanor in a room, or the vibe of a room in general. It depends how you... Thank you so much. Thanks. Oof. Wow. Wash line here, it's a little weird.
Did Mike tell you that he put me to work at his at Chug's last week?
I did.
What job did you end up with?
He sends me a picture that he's there with his kid. His kid's having a milkshake, and I'm like, dude, can you tell him to lower the fucking lights because the lights are way too fucking bright? And he was just like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm fucking serious. Of course.
So you can add to my intro. I'm also a light coordinator at Chug's.
I love this.
I mean, it matters. It
No,
matters.
it does. I mean, it's just I didn't know if you wanted me to go that extra step and tell your staff or not.
Yeah, no, I'm totally cool with it. I mean, I've told your staff things.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. We'll talk about that another day.
yeah.
Can we talk about me and Nick fighting? I think that was more.
Oh man.
I don't know like the full context of this fight. I just know that it happened at a kid's party.
Nick hates me apparently.
No, not at
everything
all.
I believe in.
Are you a communist?
Am I a communist?
No, you're not a communist.
Okay.
Then you're fine.
All right, good.
As far as I know with Nick, that's pretty much it. That's
Actually,
like the,
I've
that's
never
the thing.
enjoyed a argument more than I ever have that night.
This
I
is
never
why
felt
me and
like
Nick are
hugging
friends,
someone
'cause
and
I love
disagreeing
arguing
at the
with
same
Nick.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike and I mostly yell at each other.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole time, and it's just all through text that I respond 4 days later.
It's me texting and then yelling it by myself for 72 hours until Mike sent the text back. I forget how it got started, but this was at a friend of mine, I guess, of the podcast, and of yours, and also your marketing director is her
Yep.
title.
And day one employee.
And day one employee, Christy Sednuda. We were at her daughter's birthday party, and this was at the very tail end, so we were like maybe like among the last 6 or so people there, and somehow I forget how the conversation turned to supporting local business or shopping at places or buying at places because they're local businesses, and we had very different views.
I will say this, the best part about the argument was that not only did we totally disagree, and not only did I want to hug him at the end a lot, but
Nick's not a hugger. Huh?
he actually
Wait till his birthday. Just wish him happy birthday.
he actually
Oh, no.
educated me a little bit because he changed my thought on one thing because
Okay.
it wasn't about necessarily supporting local, although that's very important to me. It's also supporting local, but there's a bias because if I know the person and they're not
Sure.
local, I would support them as well. So if my friend is a chef in Milwaukee and opens a restaurant in Miami, to me, I put that in the same category, supporting local, and that
I mean, you
kind
support-
of is unfair for that argument. So I'd appreciate.
What if the product is bad?
Would I support?
Yeah.
I would still support. I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but I would support. Yeah.
Listen, you supported 11 vodka. It's not good vodka.
This is on you for bringing it up.
Listen,
around
vodka
here.
is vodka.
I'm just saying, it's
I
just like-
disagree on that, to be honest with you. Vodka
So mad.
is literally, to be shitty vodka, you got to be really shitty. If it's distilled 5 times, it's the same shit. You telling me you can tell the difference between Grey Goose and Tito? I can't tell the fucking difference.
I mean, I don't drink vodka.
Well, then there you go. If it's shitty, if it's Gilby's vodka, yeah, I could tell the difference.
To me,
in
the
that
best
fucking
vodka in the world
coffee
is
mixer.
Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace.
Sounds like a Chinese restaurant.
You've never seen Crystal Palace?
Is that a vodka?
Oh, so when I
Oh,
was
that's the one with the little, yeah.
when I was worked behind a bar at an Applebee's when I was 19, all the well was Crystal Palace, and their plastic handles.
Right.
And they all at that time the cost was like $5.25 for a handle,
Yeah.
and it was the gin, rum, vodka.
Yeah. I guess Gilby's was my version of Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, that's ads at dademag.com.
I support you guys.
Yeah.
I support the grind.
I thought about it also a little bit after that conversation. I think I don't know if it was ever framed this way in that conversation, which I think like half the time that yelling was happening was because we were yelling over that one
Agreed.
person who was at the table.
It made it a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
There was another person at the table.
There was a mediator that
We can't.
me and
That's a self-appointed mediator.
me and Nick didn't.
We
ask
can't.
for
We
the
can't
mediator.
put names.
I don't know their name.
I think it was, yeah.
But me and
I
Nick
don't
have
know.
also a similar background. Like, he grew up in a Quiznos, and I grew up in a Dunkin' Donuts. And so we both grew up in a franchisee household.
Right.
And it's funny because we have very different takes from that, which is
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. But I think what I like after having thought about it a little bit, I think it's that we agree that we feel like supporting people that we feel like we have some kind of community or kinship with. I think we just disagree about whether, by virtue of somebody being local, I feel much connection to them.
Got it.
Like
If someone is local and they're still doing something bad, it doesn't mean I'm going to support them.
right, but like if somebody's if somebody's a friend and they're doing something maybe not bad, but like okay, you'd be the bar is different if it's somebody who's a friend.
I'll always go to a friend first, even if
Right.
it's bad.
Even if it's bad.
Yeah, over something that is, right next door. Obviously I'm not going across town, but door to door. When we had that conversation,
I mean,
Right.
I'm always going to go there first. I want them to succeed.
No, I know. What I'm getting at is like, like if a friend of yours opens a burger place, you're not going to go to McDonald's over their burger place.
Obviously.
I know, obviously you. I'm just doing an extreme example is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay, got it. What if it was like a Fuddruckers? It's honest question.
No, yeah, of course not.
No Fuddruckers either.
No,
do you look at Fuddruckers the same way as McDonald's?
I look at any large corporation that focuses on numbers over quality, which is basically anybody that has financial investors involved, as that category. So with the exception of, again, TVs, cars, phones, I can't get a local phone, I can't get a local car. I typically don't support any of that stuff. My wife hides it from me. My kids, they actually, if we drive by McDonald's, my kids are trained to say caca or caca Donald's. And that happens to my 3-year-old says that all the time.
Have they never eaten that stuff?
No, they eat it all the time with my wife.
Oh, got it.
A house divided them there.
I can't wait to do this, right? It's like, it'll be a McDonald's and I don't know, something random. This is like something random.
I'm just against big corporations, and not that I don't want them to succeed. I just don't want them to succeed as much as I want somebody that went through the struggle that I went through, that you went through. Sure. I know that struggle, and whether they're good quality or bad quality, I know how hard it is to go out and open your business. And to me, that's the greatest thing about this country is, aside from most other countries in this world, entrepreneurship is one thing that the United States is amazing at. Anybody can come and open their business. That doesn't mean they're going to succeed, but anybody can really do it if they really want to. And you can't do that everywhere else in the world. Obviously, you can't do that in Cuba. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious. But even in other countries that you would think, it's very hard.
Can't even get a pound of rice there. I mean, Cuba's an extreme example.
But even like I said, places like Japan, there's social class systems that's very difficult. So entrepreneurship, I take very seriously, and I know how hard it was to get from a dream and a goal to the actual brick and mortar and to make it happen. And I respect that so much from anybody.
Let me ask you a question. So obviously we're friends. So I ask you your opinion all the time, whether I take it or not, but I still ask you for your opinion. When you go to a place that's like a new, let's say someone you know or whatever, and you don't find the experience good, do you tell them?
It depends on how close we are, but typically I would probably say no. If it was a really good friend, I would give him some advice. I have done that a couple times where I emailed some points, like week 1 type things.
I've done that.
And I didn't get much of a response. Some people don't want to hear it. They might thank you 2 years down the road, but they don't want to hear it at that time.
Just talk about our friends that we just had dinner with. I ask them for their opinions all the time. It doesn't mean that I have to listen to them. Zach has very interesting opinions, and I don't always agree with them. Jose is like a wild card, always. I don't know. I think also it's like, I want your opinion, but I also have a vision. Now, if it's fundamentally fucked, right? If something is fundamentally fucked, that's completely different. But it's the same conversation we have all the time with Chug's Diner and Chug's. I'm very much on the fence to both sides. It's not, and I told you on Monday, I don't disagree with you. I just don't totally agree either. And it's
by the way, so that people know what we're talking about, I am telling Mike that the word diner is doing a misservice on that concept, because to me the theme is a diner, but the menu and the experience is a restaurant, and because of that you're limiting yourself to certain hours. So that's my argument with taking the word diner out of just Chug.
And the thing is, I also agree with you, but then I also know that what conceptually the thing was from day one, but it has evolved a lot since then.
Yeah.
I mean, this is actually Chug's 2-year birthday.
So when we opened, congratulations by the way.
Thanks.
When we opened Locale, it was Locale like burgers and beer, and people would call it Locale burgers and beer forever. And really quickly, we were known for a lot of other things besides burgers. And so I had to. It took me years to correct people to just be called Locale and not burgers and beer, because I didn't want to be known just for that thing. And it was very hard. And I mean, still people could know us for it. That's fine. We do that, and it's one of the things that we do very well. But we also have an amazing group of Reuben, and we have other great things there that I'm proud of.
That's what she said. He said try doing it slow. That's what she said.
But also to answer your question, there's a lot of people that would be opening a business. Let's say they used to work for me, or I worked with them in a different capacity, or some level of respect level, that they'll ask me for their opinion, and at that point I will be very honest.
Sure.
But if someone's opening their 5th restaurant, you know, and we're not that good friends, I'm not going to tell him what I would do differently, because who knows who says I'm right, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, if the server was giving me the middle finger and telling me to go fuck myself, I would tell him that.
Different.
But I'm not going to tell him how he should be, you know, doing his service, him or her.
Chug's subject is a very, it's a tumultuous one for me.
Well, the more time you wait, the harder it is to do it. I'm only doing it because
sure.
I lived it, so that's why I'm trying to push
But
it.
it's also like nobody calls it Chug's Diner; they just call it Chug's.
But the perception is
It's a diner.
I'm going there for Sunday, you know.
Which
it's
is
like
cool.
bagels.
I love that.
It's like, when do you get bagels? Typically, you're going to get bagels on Sunday morning, Saturday or Sunday morning. But why?
Didn't we have this conversation? What was your favorite bagel? Miami?
Like, in the world?
No, here.
I don't know if I have a favorite bagel. I go to Bagel
I thought we had this whole
Emporium.
conversation
I go to the bagel.
The one
have a feeling
across from you.
maybe-
Is that what
Across
you
from
said?
you one, yeah. I
have
go
a
there.
feeling
That was
maybe-
my favorite, but I go there.
Matt's last appearance might have been pre-lightning round.
Pre-lightning round?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh man, I got a list of questions that I don't remember for that. Lightning round is 5 questions. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
If you
have a
paid for
favorite bagel.
Patreon, you would know.
I don't pay, but I should pay.
Support local guys.
I'll tell you, actually, so I need to get some mariquitas for Chugs, and I'm working on that, so I called Burger Beast last week or the week before, and he's like, hey, man, you should come to my burger pop-up at Mojo Donuts. I said, all right, cool. So I went, and it's been a long time since I went to one of his pop-ups. The burger was fucking delicious. Like, fucking real. I'm not a big burger eater. You know, I've talked about this before. Like, I'll eat like half a burger and be like super solid. I crushed that entire fucking thing.
Was it just him, or was he like doing a collaboration?
No, it
with
was just
somebody
him.
else? Yeah.
It's like 4 burgers and a frita, I think, that he did. It's like, I kind of wish that I went with more people so we could have ordered more shit, but I mean, it was delicious. I got there at 11, got my burger, crushed it, left. It was fucking real good.
Shout out to Burger Beast for naming a burger after me way back when.
Oh, he did name it. That's right, with all this stuff that was sent to your house.
With the okonomi sauce.
The Okino. Do you still have that or no?
I still have some, I think.
He named it after you?
Yeah, so the story was, we might have talked about this way back when he did it, but he did a thing at Mojo Donuts with Hungry Yokai. I don't know if you know of this guy. He does like Japanese fusion pop-up stuff. So they did some like Japanese-ish burgers at Mojo Donuts. And sort of rewind a little bit. This one day I get home and there's 4 big flat rate USPS boxes at my front door. And I bring them inside. They're not for me, but they're addressed to my address, so there's no way of like, you know, figuring out what to do with them. I call the sender and they tell me like, well, can you just check on what's in there? So I open them up and each box had 20 pounds of single-serve packets of okonomiyaki, like Japanese pancake sauce. So they do an investigation. It turns out that this was all part of a credit card fraud scheme. So somebody had stolen a credit card number. I'm sure they bought whatever they wanted to buy, but then part of it is they just place random orders for shit and have random stuff sent all over the country. So
Like,
that when
almost like a illegal pay it forward.
Not quite. It's more like you're covering your tracks. So like if they start trying to trace, like, oh, maybe it's the okonomi sauce. They'll like, you know,
Show up at Nick's house.
show up at my house.
Show
and
me
say-
your okonomiyaki sauce. Okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki. Say it 3 times fast.
So the manufacturer just told me, like, listen, if you really want to go to the post office and send it back, you could, but it's fine if you don't want to do that, you know, whatever. So I just kept 80 pounds of okonomi sauce in single-serve packets. And, God, who was it? It might have been Burger Beast. But I think Burger Beast... No, Dave Arvello. Dave Arvello told Mike of the Hungry Yokai that I had all this sauce. So I get a DM from him. We'd never met. And next thing I know, he's like pulling into my driveway to pick up 60 pounds of it. So I kept 20 pounds just in case I decided to
Nice,
have a
just in case.
Japanese pancake party in my backyard or something.
I want to go to a Japanese pancake party in your house.
Here we go.
Actually,
Guess.
we have a Chug's pop-up dinner in October, and okonomiyaki is on the menu.
Where'd you source it from?
Well,
Who took my okonomi money?
Okonomiyaki, like the pancake.
Right, but it takes sauce over, you know? Or
I'll
you-
make my own sauce. Oh, my bad.
Support local, guys.
Yeah.
Nick being the local in this scenario.
Exactly. I'm very much in the Okonomi business right now.
No, actually, and just to fuck with Nick, I'd prefer you didn't make it yourself. Buy it from somebody in China and let Nick hold on to his 20 pounds at his house and not sell it.
Here we go.
I don't know if you guys were in the middle of something, but we're coming up on 45 minutes. So,
Well, my bike ride's usually like an hour,
Yeah.
so give me another 5-10 minutes.
yeah.
No, I'm sure.
but
I was going to ask you, so, like, you train a lot.
I keep fit. I don't want to say I train a lot, but I swim every Wednesday in Key Biscayne. I ride my bike every Sunday, and I run usually on Mondays, and then I go to the gym twice a week.
Do you just, this has a lot to do with Nick, because Nick hates, like, motivational stuff, right? You know, we have this back and forth all the time about, like, so I listen to a lot of, like, self-talk stuff when getting ready to train, when I train, like, the whole thing. What gets you prepared mentally to train? Like, do you listen to anything specific?
Well,
or
obviously,
is it just
you
wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna swim a fucking mile without a problem.
I have a schedule already, so I'm set on that schedule, and I'm 45 years old, so if I don't, I do the triathlons, and so I know they're coming up, and so I have to continue to do it, or I won't be ready. So I have one in 2 weeks, so I know that if I skip it, I'm not going to be able
What
to.
I'm saying is, you don't listen or
Rocky
do
IV soundtrack.
So it's just a soundtrack.
Sometimes the greatest hits, because there's a couple songs like "Eye of the Tiger" is not really necessarily in Rocky IV, Rocky III, so sometimes that. I have a big problem with my workout music, but I don't listen to.
I don't listen to music. I listen to self-talk the whole time.
Yeah, sometimes I do like jazz or classical when I'm riding my bike, but running is hard.
Well, that's different though. Like when I go for longer runs, like I'll listen to like Sade, because I need my brain to be happy about something other than the fact that you're running 8 miles right now. Like it needs to be somewhere else than where I am currently, and that's like the worst thing. You know, like my longest run recently was like 12 miles. And
Oh
it
wow,
was
that's
like,
a lot.
It was just like 2 hours of just like shit, just like, you know.
Are you walking or are you running the whole time?
I'm running.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm running.
Yeah, see, I'm not.
I mean, at my own. The one thing I've decided too about training in general is that, like, I remember when I was younger, obviously everything was like a competition, and you're like, you know, when you train football wise, there's another dude next to you that's trying to take your lunch money, like the whole thing. Now it's just you versus you. So it's like when you train, it's like however you want to spec out your training. It's like, so if I today want to run an 8.5 minute mile, then that's what I'm going to run. If I want to run 8 miles at 11.5 minutes because that's what I'm training myself to do, a half marathon, then that's what I'm going to do.
I will say this: my wife is a beast when it comes to working out. I mean, she's just relentless. So when you have someone in
She's
your household,
definitely in better shape than both of us.
oh, beyond, she can beat me in anything physically with that scenario. So when I come home and she worked out, and then she's like doing sit-ups at night before bed, and she's like, "Come join me." It's like, you know, it's hard to not to have someone that's motivated like that and not stay as motivated.
Well, we did that, you know, like we're in September now, but August we did our run month as a company.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
right?
You told me. Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing. We had some people like really do it. Like Georgia, which is our director of ops now. She doesn't like working out running. She ran 50 miles on the dot.
That's a lot.
And she's continued to run 50 miles. Well, she's going to run, I think 30 was her goal for the month this month. But it's like, you know, it's like that continuous pressure of like having to do it. We had some guys do like 80 or 90 miles.
But you listen to yourself while you're running or before you run?
It depends. Like when I box, it's before. So like when the days that I spar, it's like, you know, obviously I have to warm up, shadow box for a
Send it to me.
runs.
Maybe I'll try it. I never really listened to that stuff.
It's really just like, I mean, it's just talks. Like people.
It's like you're sleeping.
No, not like that.
This is
Get
this
into
like
a
a
zone.
Jocko Willing podcast or something? Is that?
No, I mean, he's in there for sure. It'll be like, you know, like today it was Mike Tyson for 10 minutes talking about being ruthless. And
You
I'm
just
like,
have it on repeat or something?
no, it'll go from one episode of one thing, and then sometimes I'll have to skip because it's like talking about like something I don't really care about.
So it's like motivation radio?
Pretty
kind of
much.
thing? Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially exactly what we're doing, but like self-talk. It's podcasts about like that are
Okay. Yeah.
cut up speeches of X, Y, and Z
Oh,
about
okay.
a certain topic.
Yeah. Like compilation type stuff.
Pretty much.
By the way, this place is beautiful.
Thanks, man.
If you haven't been here, I would recommend it. It really is nice, especially the toilets and the gold trims, which I mentioned to you.
The whole weird. Let me ask you.
I took one picture of this place, and it was the toilet.
Thank you.
Past podcast guest Lucy Lopez went into the bathroom. This was a couple months ago now. Came out and told me that's a bathroom people should fuck in.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lucy.
I don't know if that's encouraged by
the
management,
way,
but
this year Lucy had to do the Pata Sucia Olympics solo because apparently you had better things to do than co-host with her.
It was one of my very good friend's birthdays in which we celebrated it
We gave you
the
a
Keys.
6 months advance notice, but it's okay.
And I told you that I couldn't go
It's all right.
with advance notice. Just you're
Lucy
cutting me off.
was fine without you.
I'm sure she was. She definitely doesn't need me as a sidekick to be
She's
entertaining.
amazing.
Have you ever been to a urinal that has ice in it?
yes,
What is the purpose?
no idea.
Do you know what the purpose is?
I think there's a special. First off, there's no splashback, so there's that level.
Fair.
I think that's probably the main purpose. But the second purpose, which I think is enjoyable, is watching the ice melt as you urinate is a satisfying feeling.
It is fun.
This is the most random thing. Like I remember it in like dodgy bars and stuff. Like you're trying to empty out the well and you just
Yep.
throw it in the
I
fucking
think
urinal.
it also takes away the smell slightly. I would imagine,
Ice,
especially in a divey bar.
I think like heat would intensify the smell, so maybe having it cold just kind of kills it.
Well, anyways, we went to a nicer restaurant on Monday, and there was ice in the urinal,
Some
and I'm like,
some Michelin-starred ice urinals.
and it was weird. I was like, I don't totally understand. I mean, I guess there's a purpose. Somebody put thought behind this, but like, this is a little weird.
Well, I teach a class at FIU called Intro to Restaurant Development. and
I've been in the class.
You've been there, and I'm going to ask you to be again this semester. But I'm going to bring it up in my class and see
Ice in the urinals?
yes, and see if it's see what the response is from the younger generation.
Interesting.
Because I haven't seen it a lot. I used to see it in my 20s a lot, like
but
like you said, dive bar type place. But we
Divey
did see it
bars.
this week, so it came up.
But in like a nice restaurant. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it in a nice restaurant. I didn't necessarily hate it, but I was.
I didn't hate it either. Like I just didn't. I was like, is there something I'm missing? There's a memo.
And obviously Zach loved it.
Fucking A, did he ever? It's just like every time I went to the bathroom, I took a picture of the urinal. I'm just like, what's going on, dude? Why are we doing this?
I have a urinal of Fidel Castro. He likes ice.
Yeah.
He likes ice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, is there any new plans for more things?
Yes and no. I told you, I'm trying to focus on well-rounding. So, like, I teach at FIU. I'm actually getting my master's right now at FIU, which is insane. I have homework this week. I'm involved with Pace Center for Girls and Sebastian Strong, so that takes a lot of my time. With the restaurants that we have, Wynwood, we are going to redesign. And I'm going to expand the kitchen, and I'm going to end up putting a bar upstairs.
Cool.
So that's going to be very exciting.
Upstairs, like rooftop bar? Or
No, like second floor.
Oh, second floor.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were going to put apartments there, but now I'm going to put a bar upstairs. So I'm actually really excited about that. And then, I'm going to be your neighbor on Coral Way, off Coral Way, 32nd in the next year and a half. I'll have a bar there. So between those two and kind of what I have going on, that's pretty much it. I'm in the design phase of those two.
The one on Coral Way, you have like a concept or?
Yeah, it's kind of like, the easy way of saying it is like a cool dive bar.
Sure.
A dive bar that a girl could come in and not feel icky. That's kind of the vibe.
So a dive bar that's clean that has AC.
Yeah, that's clean, has AC, and it's kind of like, retro, and obviously I'm going to put all my things. At the time, I thought it was going to be my last bar I was ever going to do because I'm kind of like done opening new things. So every idea I've had in the last 15 years that I haven't put, I put in this very small space.
It's a really cool fucking space.
Yeah, there's going to be, I'm sad because I love the space now, too. It's a Honduran restaurant. Even though your cleaning lady said it's the worst Honduran food ever, I don't know. I find the baleadas really good.
I thought they were delicious. I went with you, so.
And if you go there on a Friday night, drink a beer, it's fucking amazing.
We should do a podcast there.
Yeah, or we should just go out. We should have gone there the other night. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Is
have been
there
perfect.
TVs there?
Yeah, there is. It's probably on Telemundo, but
that was why we went to Torres, because we wanted to watch the end of the game. Yeah, I think that like Coral Way is an interesting. A lot of people told me when we opened the Gibson, it was like, oh, we don't know, blah blah. I'm like, man, that place is like, there's a lot of people in that like 30 to 45 range that want to go out for a drink, that don't want to go to Brickell, don't want to go to the Grove, don't want to go to the Gables. And I mean, we feel it at the Gibson. I mean, like it's we're super blessed to have like an amazing core of regulars there.
Yeah.
And also like newcomers, and you know,
Yeah, when you have everything on the menu, it's amazing.
this fucking guy.
But
dick.
I will say that it's my favorite. You know, I can't go there yet. Like that's like a once in a almost like a lifetime at this point.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a night. It's an experience. It's a whole thing, and it's amazing. But for me, I go to Gibson once a week, and it won't get stale for me at all.
Cool.
And if Chug's wasn't a diner, I'd go there once a week too.
Here we go.
But
Man.
I can only eat diner, you know, so often.
But you said it yourself that it's not a diner.
I know, but mentally, it's you know.
Mentally, it's a diner?
Yeah, I want my shitty coffee. I want I want.
You don't get shitty coffee there.
Well, then take out the diner word,
No.
and then you can serve good coffee.
I mean, you could serve good coffee in a diner.
Then it's not really a diner.
What do you mean? Why not? You serve coffee. You should
Because
just
I
serve
go to a
good
diner,
coffee.
I want $3 eggs, shitty coffee, bacon, home fried. You know, like
That's why diners don't exist anymore, because they can't pay the rent on
I
$3
know,
eggs.
I know. That's why I love Jimmy's, but
I mean, Jimmy's is the shit. Man.
we'll see how long.
I mean, I don't know.
If Jimmy's was 24 hours, it could have been and could be the staple of Miami. But since they close at 4, unfortunately, it never will be.
Right, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, yeah.
Right.
That was 24 hours. Whew. That would probably be the place to go in fucking
I mean, because
Miami.
they're slammed every time I go, like
Slammed.
during the day.
It's the only diner that I really know that's worth going to.
But is Chuck Wagon a diner?
Yeah, I guess you could call it. It says restaurant, which is another serious thing. The words mislead you because that is a diner. They're trying to be a restaurant, and that throws you off a little bit.
Is a diner not a type of restaurant?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think like anything, if you put a word,
Are
it
we
does
venturing
associate.
into hot dog taco territory right now?
No, let's relax. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
It definitely is.
Nah, he's doing radio now. We don't talk about that anymore.
Hot dog is not a sandwich.
A hot dog is not a sandwich.
If I'm gonna go to a hot dog place, I'm gonna
Is
go
an
to a hot dog place.
empanada a sandwich?
No.
Is a choripán a sandwich?
Yes.
Yeah, but choripán is it's in between 2 pieces of bread, no?
It's on a bun.
It's on a bun.
Yeah.
The bread, so is for it, like, to be considered a sandwich, does the bread have to not be
It might need
connected?
to be. You might need to click it like a little slower. On right where you were clicking it.
Slow.
No.
There
Yeah,
you
there
go.
you go. A little finicky. Sorry, you were saying about choripán?
I'm just saying, does the bread need to not be connected to be a sandwich? Because a hoagie is not connected.
I've had choripán on a bread that was just not cut all the way through.
I think choripán is a sandwich.
Is it Italian beef a sandwich?
I don't think it's a technical.
Sure.
I don't think it's a technical thing. It's a perception thing. It's a sandwich shop. It doesn't have hot dogs. A hot dog place has hot dogs.
Do you think pub
cart
sub-
has hot dogs.
Do you think pub subs are overrated?
No, unfortunately, I do love them a lot.
I
But I
love
will
them.
say this:
I
the
love them.
sandwich culture in Miami is very weak.
For sure.
And so, if there was better options, it wouldn't be a thing. But since there aren't,
How do you feel about subs, etc.?
correct me if I'm wrong, but I associate that more with hot subs, and I like hoagies. I like grinders.
I think
I like
actually,
cold subs.
when I go there, I have hot subs, I think.
So I'm not a big hot sub guy. I mean, I'll eat them every once in a while when they're in their moment, but I like a hoagie, like Italian hoagie or
Yeah,
turkey
like a cold,
sandwich,
like a cold.
like a Quiznos from Nick's dad.
Oh, Quiznos was hot.
Yeah.
Toasty.
on the. I always thought the conveyor belt was amazing.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was like so many options you could do on the conveyor belt with a sandwich.
and it really changed the game. Like that's when Publix started toasting sandwiches. Like that didn't used to be a thing.
So
Quiznos.
you think Publix started toasting sandwiches because of Quiznos?
I think Quiznos was the beginning of that like wave of. Now everybody gives you the option of, do you want us to put that in an oven?
Speaking of great sandwiches in Miami, I think Josh's Deli has some of the best sandwiches in the city.
But again, more hot sandwiches.
For sure. Like when I went the other day, we had the Reuben and we had the Jubanize. I think it was like a mix between it's like a Jewish Cuban
Yeah.
sandwich. I mean, it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't been there. I went there once, like a month ago, and from there, I haven't been there in like 6 years, and both times were equally as good.
So good. That
I
guy's
love the
such-
little hole in the wall.
Such a legend because he just like works a line by himself.
Yeah.
It's fucking impressive, man.
I told you I went there. They closed, and I basically got invited to someone's table who I forgot how I knew him, and he just let me eat his food off his table, and it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like one of those gems in Miami. It's just kind of like, what is it on, like
79th,
No, farther.
Surfside. It's in Surfside.
Yeah, it's far, but it's fucking so good.
96. Sorry.
Super Subs, etc. I think is really good. Hungry Bear is good. No, you're not.
No, they're not good. It's just if you had a sandwich culture, they would be average.
Sure.
But since you don't, they're obviously.
But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Danny was trying to do it, and I love that he was trying to do it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you go to the Northeast, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I grew up with that culture of just having an Italian sub everywhere. Obviously, this is a Spanish culture, which, similar to the Quiznos, I think it's a Spanish thing to eat sandwiches hot. Not necessarily only a Spanish thing, but Spanish people do like them hot. At least I've seen in my circle, like, I won't go to Publix and get a hot sandwich. I get a cold sandwich.
Do you think a Cuban sandwich needs to be pressed?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
100%.
I disagree. 100%.
I just Cuban does a pan con lechon.
I don't think it can be
pan con
called.
lechon less so, but I prefer it pressed.
So if the bread is warm and the inside is hot, why does it need to be pressed?
Because how can you sell shitty ham and call it good if it's not hot?
I'm just saying. I just think that at that point you're destroying the actual like integrity of the bread.
What's the best way to hide quality meat?
Yeah, by hot.
Heating it up,
Yeah,
and
by
pressing it thin. That's how you hide
By
it.
it being hot. I don't know. That's why at Chugs we don't press any of the sandwiches.
I like the
You're using
crunch.
good quality meat, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like for me, I love the bread that we use, and I love like what we put in sandwiches. And, like I don't want them pressed.
I love sandwiches. For me, I could eat sandwiches and cereal all day long.
I can't eat. I mean, I love cereal. I can't eat cereal. It's just so bad for you.
I know.
It's just like fucking incredible. You eat cereal?
Rarely.
Rarely. What's
Yeah.
your cereal of choice?
Oh man, it's been a long time since I bought cereal. Honestly, I think if I had to commit to one cereal for a significant amount of time, I'd probably go Honey Bunches of Oats.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's
huh?
like somewhere in the middle of like, because oats is
Yeah,
in the word,
sounds
in the
good.
name,
Yeah,
Yeah, it
sounds
sounds
but
good.
there's still honey and shit. Like you feel
Yeah.
like it's still a childish, decadent, sweet.
It's a good one.
Where are you at?
I guess I'm classic at this point. I'm just doing Honey Nut Cheerios at this point.
I mean, Honey Nut Cheerios is delicious. I'm Frosted Flakes. I love. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I also love, but it's just like sugar bombs. Like I can't believe
Yeah,
I
I
used
can't
to.
eat that much sugar, man.
I can't believe I used to eat that for breakfast once upon a time.
I also like all the stuff with dried strawberries in it.
Oh yeah.
And like the
Grape nuts.
any of grape nuts, the Special K with strawberries. Like if there's dried strawberries, I'm in.
Yeah, I think that's like have to be in a mood
It's
for
funny
that.
how the American culture is eating sweets for breakfast.
But aren't a lot of cultures like that?
Are they?
I don't
mean,
know, man.
a croissant with fucking
Yeah, I guess.
chocolate in it, a croissant with almonds.
Yeah,
you know, like
true, yeah. I look at my kids like when I make them breakfast, and if it's not eggs, I'm like,
Pastelito.
either fucking pancakes, waffles. It's just fucking sugar, or eggs.
pastelitos in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, there's a
With
lot of
coffee.
cultures that do that.
I guess they eat it with coffee, so maybe it's like a little bit of a.
Right. It's always the thing is like, oh, it just goes well with my coffee.
Yeah,
but when you're
exactly.
crushing 3 pastelitos and you're having a coctelito, like you're already at like fucking, 20 tablespoons of fucking sugar for the morning. It's pretty wild.
I'm not a big sweets for breakfast. I'll do it, but part of why I don't eat cereal is I'll have eggs and toast a million times before I
I can
opt
have
for
cereal for dessert, easy.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a lot of dairy either. Like I try not
Do
to.
you like hash browns?
I love hash browns.
So Jimmy's is the only place that I can have really good hash browns. Is there any other hash
I
browns?
struggle with hash browns. Well, just like me personally trying to like do them because like I think that there's an art form behind it, and it's just like everyone fucks them up. It's also like the flat top needs to be like a certain temperature
Right.
for me to do it on a consistent basis.
So like, why can't for me? I eat hash browns and I have to put ketchup on it. French fries, sure, ketchup. Why can't I eat a baked potato with ketchup? Like, why is that the most nasty thing I've ever
but
heard
a
of?
baked potato and a hash brown are different, right? Because it
Well, I'm
essentially
saying the potato.
Yeah, but a hash brown is like French fries. It's more like a French fry than it is as just like a potato.
Right. So like, there was a potato chip in Canada. I saw someone that they had like ketchup potato chips, and it
Oh.
sounds disgusting.
I know that sounds actually real good.
But then you're thinking about it, it's like potatoes and ketchup is exactly what we eat.
Are you the kind of guy that looks down on people that use ketchup?
on meat?
No, not on meat. I think that's. Sorry,
If you eat,
my bad.
If you eat ketchup on eggs, my mom does that. I would probably vomit.
Ketchup on eggs?
Yeah.
I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
I for sure in my younger life have done that.
What was the question?
Do you look down on people that use ketchup?
No.
Just in general?
No.
Just in general,
Who
because
who
there's a
looks
lot
down
of
on
there's a
ketchup?
lot of stuff is like if you put ketchup on stuff, you're a fucking idiot.
Like if
I
you're in
don't-
Chicago eating a hot
never
dog,
heard that.
maybe. But besides that, I don't know.
So is ketchup on a hot dog bad?
For that, I kind of go for the place. When I'm in Chicago, I definitely I buy into people having their way.
Yeah,
Whether
sure.
it's right or wrong,
Like
I
a
love
Chicago
that.
dog.
I love that people are passionate, whether I agree or disagree. I love that. So I love that they don't eat ketchup on hot dogs. But do I put ketchup on hot dogs? Yeah, sure. But I don't need it. Mayonnaise and mustard is fucking amazing.
Oh, so you're a mayonnaise and mustard on your hot dog guy?
Mustard is a must.
Yeah.
And onions is a must. Everything else I can mix
My
and
hot
match.
dog is just kraut and mustard. That's the hot dog that I like. I think chili cheese dogs are just like, it's a mess.
That's another thing. We don't have that many. I mean, Arbetters we talked about, but we don't have many hot dogs in Miami either.
We have no hot dogs, just Arbetters and
What's the place like on 79th Street?
Doggies, or no, that's the Dogma.
Dogma, yeah.
And Arbetters is great, but it's not. I love Arbetters. It's like it's my childhood, and I love it.
I will say this: we were on the way to a birthday party at Bird Bowl, and we stopped at Arbetters, and we definitely crushed a chili and a hot dog in the car, on the way there.
But they're like cans of chili,
Yeah.
cans of cheese.
Right.
I get it. I love. We're gonna start doing late night hot dogs at Taurus after the kitchen closes. I'm pretty pumped about that. Just like I don't know, I love hot dogs. It's just like no one really does them.
Yeah, I love the poppy seed bun, that Chicago, the pickle spear. I love
What
that.
is the Chicago dog again? It's pickle, mustard, poppy seed
It's got
bun.
the poppy seed bun. The celery
something
salt
else.
is the big thing.
And there's onions too, no?
Onions. I mean, you got to Google it 100%, but the celery salt, onions, the pickle spear, and I think is it relish them? Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak.
We just started serving those at Clevelander. I disagreed to it, and it's right now our number one seller this week.
For sure. Sounds about right. I don't know, I love a good Philly cheesesteak, just you don't see many good ones ever.
Yeah.
I mean, after having Philly cheesesteaks in Philly, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, but I
get
can't do the cheese whiz.
Well, I mean,
You like fake cheese. I can't stand fake cheese.
I mean, a true Philly cheesesteak goes with Cooper Sharp American.
Oh, well, I'm saying, I know you like American cheese on your burgers, and I can't do that.
I mean, I think Cooper Sharp American cheese is better than a lot of cheeses.
Fair enough.
I was a hardcore craft American singles person for a long time, and Brittany Rothwell, because she's from Philly, she was like, you need to try Cooper Sharp. She found Cooper Sharp in Miami. She brought it. We made a burger with nothing on it with Cooper Sharp, and I was like, all the burgers now come with this. And now we buy a lot of Cooper Sharp to make sure no one else can get any.
I guess when I hear American, I just immediately think craft singles, and I forget that there's other options of American cheese, I guess.
I actually don't know if there's I've never tried any other. It's just craft American, and this one is
right.
fucking.
So maybe I just haven't had that one.
I mean, it's
consciously.
it's real fucking good. I'm also not a fancy cheese on my burger guy. You like fancy cheese on your burger?
Yes. I love a
What's
blue
your
cheeseburger.
ideal burger build?
Well,
For you.
for me, the burger that I eat is our classic, which is lettuce, tomato, pickle, mayo, mustard, onions, with cheddar cheese. And that, to me, as crazy as you can get with every other style, to me, that's what I'm going to eat every single time.
Yours are thick patties, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many ounces of patty?
Well, we just got a patty maker
That's cool.
this week, so I'll answer that question next week.
Yeah, I like a patty maker. Consistency is key.
Yeah, it would cost $12,000. So
Well, listen, we have a croquette machine. It costs $20,000. It's just, but all the croquettes look the same,
Yeah.
which is ideal. And they're all gigantic missiles.
So yeah, I love Miami because we got croquetas, we got pasta, we got things that don't exist in really other cultures in this country. But man, the sandwich, the hot dog game, the diner game, I do miss.
But
those
it's
things.
you look at it there's a lot of Hispanics here. The sandwiches are just different. I think
They don't eat vegetables.
Well, for sure, that's for sure.
That's
but
the
when
thing.
you look at sandwich culture, there is a sandwich culture. It's just not it's not the one you're talking about.
Nick, do you put vegetables on your sandwich?
other than, say, lettuce or
Like
something?
lettuce, tomato, pickle, onions.
I do lettuce, tomato. I don't like pickles at all. Onions, I'll do any kind of onion, but if I prefer like a caramelized onion, but I'll do raw onions.
When you're working at Quiznos, do they put vegetables on those after they heat them up?
Yeah, like there was the option of like the typical, sub sandwich. I like some peppers, onion. There was spinach. There was
Yeah, I find it a very Latin thing that vegetables is like
Well,
on a
like,
sandwich is
just
not common.
like a roast pork sandwich. I didn't know what a fucking roast pork sandwich was until I was like 23 or 24. And then I love them. That's like, I would say that I probably enjoy a good, like John's roast pork in Philly. I like that more than a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, that line was long.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, we got there like super early, so the line wasn't super long, but that shit is fucking good.
I waited an hour for a sandwich, and it was good. I don't know if I wait an hour again, but
I mean, I waited no line, so for me it was a great experience. I just like, when I look at the sandwich culture of Miami specifically, it's just Hispanics.
And then can I ask you a question? I kind of brought this up the other day, but I didn't get an opinion from you. So if I decided to start my own, with friends and family, media outlet, and we called it Jimmy Goodyear Mustache, is that something you're going to support or not support?
Why wouldn't I support you?
Oh, you were giving me looks the other night when me and Jose were bringing it up.
No, because I think, this is a broader conversation. I think now that Michelin has been in Miami for 2 years, a lot of people like to poo-poo the Michelin award.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of poo-poo on it.
I'm not saying that you were, but it's a lot of things that we have gotten here as of late. And I mean, just me, like, when I hear talk and things happening, and I also, like, at the same time, you got it, Nick? It annoys the fuck out of me.
I think it's just a creative way to say that this is what we like, not that that's bad. This is our opinions.
Yeah.
Instead of James Beard, we got the Jimmy Mustache. Instead of the Michelin, we got the Goodyear, and these are our favorites.
I didn't give
Those
you
are their favorites.
I didn't give you a side eye.
Well, Jose thought you were not happy with the conversation, and I was all about Jimmy Mustache Awards.
Yeah, I mean,
I even got fake mustaches. No comment from you guys.
Listen, I support my friends even when they do bad things. As long as it's local.
As long as they're local
the
friends.
basis of the entire hour.
I don't know. I like that was really because also Zach is like a perfect example of someone that has like the recognition that kind of just speaks about it very like aloof and just kind of like whatever. But he's also not been awarded by the James Beard Awards every single year when he should have been, many times. So and he's very keen on that. So like I just think it's there's layers to that answer. For me, of course, I support you, and I'm like,
All right. Nick, if you want a side gig, we're going to start the Jimmy quotation mark Goodyear Mustache.
Oh man, the name's getting
podcast.
longer and longer here.
Well, Goodyear's his middle name. It's Jimmy Mustache.
Got it, Jimmy Goodyear Mustache.
yeah, we'll put
Napa know-how.
I'll put up plaques. You give us plaques too.
Are we going to do like golden mustaches?
Cool. I think that's great.
And they can put them at the door?
You should
Maybe
give them
like
out,
stickers.
should
like
give
golden
them out
mustache
during
stickers.
November, right?
Movember? Yeah, it's a good idea. See,
Movember.
we're already
See
we're
that?
already twerking. Me and Jose are doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Apparently, we're all going to Puerto Rico in February.
Yeah, if he's opening a restaurant for
He's
sure.
opening a restaurant in Puerto Rico, which he's very pumped about.
Yes.
He's not here to talk about it, but he was very pumped about it. He's very, very pumped. I think we've hit sandwiches.
So the one thing that I wanted to get into before we shift to all the wind down shit was because we had wanted to do this before that Pace Center for Girls event
Yes.
that happened a while ago. So just in case somehow we managed to screw that up again next year, can we talk about what that is
Sure.
in a way that'll still feel relevant next year?
Of course, and we're going to do it every year. So we did an event in July called Taste the Pace, and I invited a bunch of well-known chefs. Michael Schwartz quickly said yes, and everybody else, with the exception of Michael Beltrán, said yes immediately.
That's correct. I did not participate in the event.
And it was one of the, if not the best event I've ever been to be honest with you. It was 10 James Beard, Michelin, every award you could think of, chefs, all putting together an event to celebrate Pace Center for Girls, which is a local school here in Allapattah that helps teenage girls that are in difficult situations. I get a little complicated on that. We raised $100,000 towards that school. And we had my friend Alan Chamo, who was a mentalist, who was amazing. We had Carlos from Only in DADE, was great. Gio did some cocktails from Havana Club, and Voli sponsored, and obviously the chefs were the show. But the beautiful thing was we did it at the Southern Wine and Spirits building in Wynwood, and which is an amazing kitchen. All the chefs, it looked like a soup kitchen, and everybody was just like helping everybody out. But when you looked over, it was just 10 amazing chefs helping each other out, just kind of digging in, and it was really something really cool. I'd never really seen that before. Atomic was there doing a live art piece. It was just an awesome high-level gala event that I was very proud of. And everybody on the team, Jennifer, Wolf, Christina, they killed it. So we're going to do it again every year. Hopefully one year Michael will say yes. I'm not sure what the boycott was about. We can talk about it another day.
I didn't have a
But
boycott.
everybody else was amazing. Brad, Neve, everybody, even people that I wasn't close with, jumped on and really did amazing stuff, and everybody raved about it. Made money, awesome. Everyone had fun. It was just great. So we're going to do it every year in the summertime. So it's an off season for Miami, and hopefully you'll see it next year.
Is there like a website people could go to now to get on a mailing list so that next year they get reminded or whatever it is?
That's a good question. Right now I would say pacecenterforgirls.org is that, but that's more about the organization.
Yeah.
The Taste of Pace, I guess the best way to do it is follow Kush Hospitality, because we'll be the ones pushing it out.
Cool.
We'll be pushing out the most. We don't hire Larry Carino did free PR for us, which was really nice, but we didn't really do an official social media engagement.
Long Island Larry is great.
Yeah. Long Island Larry.
I heard it was a great event. Chef Devin was a part of the event.
Yeah.
She had a great time. She said it was good stuff.
And it was awesome. Afterwards, we all partied at Kush, and the Mentalist, my friend Chamo, he hypnotized.
That guy's weird, man.
He's amazing.
He's really man, this guy, I don't know.
Yeah, he's amazing.
It's fucking wild.
But
I don't know. When I watched that guy do shit, I'm just kind of I don't want this guy to get anywhere near me.
Well, he hypnotized Jose, and it was hilarious. It was awesome.
Oh, that's good.
And we have it on tape. It was really fun stuff.
Nice.
But anyways, Taste the Pace next year. Yeah, we're definitely going to do it again. And I was very proud of it. It was the first time a big event I kind of did, and I've never. It was so flawless. It was amazing because of the team that put it together.
Timeout.
Oh, yeah, I'll put it on. Cool.
I'm glad that wasn't me.
So, we can move on to, so you want to do some of the wind down stuff?
Sure, we can wind it down.
We'll start with our parting recommendations. Cool. I had almost forgotten what we do next. So parting recommendations, this is where you recommend literally anything. It could be something that's yours, something that's not yours. So it could be a movie, a book, a place you went, a meal you had. As long as it's not yours, what do you recommend people check out?
Well, I guess I mentioned it earlier, but I guess Fans First is a book about the Savannah Bananas and unreasonable hospitality. If you're in this industry, they were both pretty inspiring books for me. I'm not a huge book reader, and they both caught my attention and made me finish fast. So I'd recommend that for anybody who's trying to put a brand together or trying to do something in hospitality.
That's it?
Oh, any more?
I mean, show, music, whatever.
My daughter and I are really just reigniting in Sia. I love Sia.
What is that?
The artist, the singer.
There's a singer named Sia.
Yeah, she's been around a long time. You know her stuff, but my daughter, when she gets into it, so now I listen to it every day in my car. So here's, I guess, I'll give you the one. So Sia's known. She writes all these songs for Britney Spears and Rihanna and all that stuff. She sings Chandelier and whatever, Titanium, a bunch of stuff. But she's got a Christmas album, which has original Christmas songs, and Ho 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 and Mr. Snowman. Mr. Snowman, which is a Christmas song, might be my favorite song right now. And it's a Christmas song, original. It is fucking amazing. And it's not like something new, but since my daughter's really into Sia right now, I'm just listening to it a lot. So I guess I'd recommend that.
Cool.
Check out Sia's Christmas album in September.
Nice.
I love that. Well, we're getting tuned up for holidays here.
Mike, parting recommendation?
Last time we did this, did I recommend the Lebanese guys?
Maybe.
I don't know. Their shawarma is great, man.
You recommend them to me, and I did go, and they were good, and he was really nice, the guy.
Just Alamir?
Yeah. No, it's
different one.
across. It's like on Bird, but it's down the street.
Got it.
It's really fucking good. The guy who runs it, Muhammad, he's like, the shawarma is fucking delicious. So good. Kibbeh is really good. I really, really fucking enjoyed it. It was great. I also recommend, even though I'm not like a huge burger guy, that Burger Beast burger was really fucking good. Next time he does a pop-up, I would probably recommend a go. Shows-wise, you know, like a lot of people are talking shit about that new Star Wars show. I like it. Ahsoka.
I saw the first 2 episodes. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anything past that yet.
I'm on, I think they're on episode 5. I'm caught up. Like, it was really good, entertaining. Like, obviously, I don't know. Like, I'm more of a Star Trek guy than I am a Star Wars person.
Yeah,
but,
I'm more Star Wars.
I mean, the show's good. Well done. Interesting. Good acting. Cool with me. I'm in the middle of Unreasonable Hospitality. It's a very good book. So, you know, I guess I'll fully recommend it when I'm done. But
I say it's a controversial subject for a lot of chefs, but I thought The Bear season 2 was really good.
I haven't watched it yet.
So I thought
But it took me 2 years to watch the first season.
I get it that it's like a stressful and it's too much. But the episode where, and I obviously haven't seen it, where they go to Copenhagen, and the whole episode's him just like kind of staging in Copenhagen, and where like the cousin who's like you know, kind of like a schlub, like learns about hospitality, and they talk about Unreasonable Hospitality a lot in that, and they kind of reference it the whole time. But he's basically at like, you know, the greatest restaurant, and like finally it clicks to him about hospitality. To me, you know, for someone who's passionate about front of the house, that was a great episode to, you know, to them showing like that aspect of it.
What I find interesting about that show, so I watched the first season, and I thought the show was entertaining. What really got me was the second to last episode that I actually, like, I cried in that episode because I felt the most connection to that one. Like, I felt like it was the most, like, what I've lived. So I think there's certain aspects that are for entertainment, and I think that they're very good, and I think that there's other parts of it that are a little more, they dig a little deeper for people like us, you know, because, like, there are a lot of people like that that are kind of like in the industry because they have to be, and then it clicks for them, and then it actually makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you why you'll like season 2. I didn't care for season 1 that much, but season 2 is because the whole thing is they're trying to build a restaurant, and it goes from like, what kind of equipment am I going to buy, and plans, and dealing with half the show is about dealing with the city.
Woof.
And that's my life.
Gosh.
And
yeah.
so for some,
Amen.
and that goes back to the conversation about supporting, you know, people, local guys. Going through that process is not really shown on TV. You know, people don't realize what it's like.
I mean, what do they really show on TV? They don't show shit on TV.
But this season, they show, you know, how to get the money. I don't have money. How do I cut corners? You know, I got to buy a table. What kind of table do I buy? It's like basically putting a restaurant together. And for me, I could relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
The first season I didn't relate to so much. It was just more enjoyable. The second season I related to a lot, and I thought it was great. So I know it's a lot of people don't like that, but I liked season 2 a lot of the
I mean, I liked the first season. I just like, I need to be in the mood to work after work.
Yeah.
So like, for me to watch the show, I have to be like in that kind of mood.
It's a little intense. It's a little like gives you kind
I'm
of
okay
like.
with intensity. For me, it's just more like the things like, you know, like being like reignited into the thing that I just left to say that I don't want to do, like I don't want to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I watch shit, it's like sci-fi shit because I'm just trying to decompress.
Well, like another thing, like in the second thing, that, you know, they had like one of the line cooks, and they like kind of send her to culinary school, and she gets inspired, and all of a sudden she gets it, it clicks, and you can relate to that all day long when you get somebody who just got a job, they work with you, and all of a sudden it clicks for them, and they realize, you know what, this is a passion. I mean, this is important, and they show that, and I don't see that a lot on entertainment, so I think you'll like it a lot. I liked it.
Cool. Nick?
It's possible that I've recommended some of this before, but things that occur to me are, number one, Cuban rapper Randy Acosta.
Okay.
Check that out. Very good if you're a rap person. I watched it on Amazon. It's possible it's somewhere else. Movie called Nobody with, I forget the name of the guy, but he plays the lawyer on Breaking Bad, and then he has that spin-off.
Bob Odenkirk.
Nobody is like in the genre of like The Equalizer, John Wick.
You're the second person that recommended that to me this week.
It was good. And it was like, it's more of a sort of relatable character just because, I don't know, Bob Odenkirk doesn't look like an action movie star, you know?
By the way, Bob Odenkirk is in season 2 of The Bear in one episode as like the uncle.
Yeah, but so Nobody's good. A lot better than I thought it would be. Also, I think Amazon Jury Duty was a lot of fun.
That was funny.
Kind of late to that party, but
yeah, that was funny.
Jury Duty was a good
I haven't
time.
seen that.
It's kind of fucked up, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, like you remember the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Jury Duty is they basically did this, but it was with a fake jury trial, and only one juror doesn't realize it's not real.
Oh.
So they shoot like a whole reality show, and he just thinks that he's a juror on a jury that they're making like a documentary style thing about. Everybody else is an actor.
Wow.
And he doesn't realize it until the whole thing is over.
But it's kind of fucked up because he's like making relationships with the people, and they're just like lying to his face.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, it's like, wait, are you my friend or we're not friends? 'Cause I don't fucking know you.
Right.
But it was entertaining, yeah.
And then the last thing I'll recommend, which again, possible I've recommended it before, but I can't recommend it enough. And there's a little bit of that, like, given what I have experience with, watching this is, relatable, although it's not about the process, but Kill Tony, which is a live podcast that they record at the Comedy Mothership in Austin, Texas. So the whole thing of it is that they've got a bucket full of names, and if your name is pulled out of the bucket, you got to come up and do a 1-minute set, and they'll do interviews. But for me, it's just like, aside from the fact that this show's hysterical, it's impressive how week in and week out they put out not only a podcast, but a live podcast that involves that many moving parts in front of an audience. Like from
It's not a TV show, it's a podcast.
Exactly, yeah. It's a podcast that I would recommend watching on YouTube because it's comedy, so you want to see facial expressions, and it's usually a panel of comedians will do like a brief interview with each person who comes up to do a set. So there's often like a lot of roasting and references to what they look like and that kind of thing. So it's better to watch it on video. But Kill Tony. The host is Tony Hinchcliffe, who you might have seen.
I'm gonna watch it.
Just random shout-outs to Val and Nando for being Food and Wine's best new chefs of 2023. That's pretty amazing. If you haven't been to Mati's, I would highly recommend it. Obviously, when Itamai reopens next door, it's probably going to be a really good time. So I'd recommend that also. Shout out to Jimmy Buffett. May he rest in peace.
Shout out to Jimmy Buffett, yeah.
Shout out to Jimmy Buffett, right?
Yeah. All right, so this is where we do our shameless plugs. So plug all of your stuff. Where can people find you, your things? This is where all the stuff that's yours belongs.
Sure. Really, it's easy. Just Kush Hospitality, I guess, on social and Instagram.
All the things.
All the things, yeah. I mean, cool. We have Tobacco Road, Kush Brickle. Now we kind of converted to more Kush. It's fucking awesome. I'm in love with the cocoa. Is my favorite drink I've ever had. Coconut Old Fashioned in Brickle. Vermouth at Victoria's. Crafts and Crafts on last Thursday every month. If you got kids at Locale. Hialeah is my favorite in the world. Go to Kush Cleveland if you like sports or for fights.
And Philly cheesesteaks.
It's a great venue to watch sports. So if you like for boxing matches, UFC fights, it's actually fucking awesome. And you don't have to go into the Cleveland department. You can go into the Kush room. So it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Wynwood, obviously, all my places.
All the things.
All the things.
It's already.
All the
It's playing now.
things.
Is it?
All the things. Arietta Nave, Scapegoat and the Taurus, Chugs and the Gibson. All the things.
All the things. At this point, just all the things.
Big Ink Apparel,
Somebody likes
Scoops and Lorel,
Yes.
Miami against the world. All the things.
All the things. Insert songs.
All
It's a great song. Great
the
artist.
things.
All the things.
All
It's great
the things.
cruising music.
Oh, for sure.
How did you like the playlist for the ride the other night?
Great.
All right, so that was the All the Things song. We have done our parting recommendations. We've done our shameless... Oh, I'm going to recommend shamelessly plug some things. Of course, DADEMag.com for all the Dade Mag things. Follow Pancom Podcast everywhere. Subscribe wherever it is that you listen to podcasts if you haven't already.
At DADEMag.com.
Ads at DADEMag.com if you want to get in on some of that. And then also, of course, we're at El Vecino, but I believe October 21st will be the first time that we do a UFC card here.
Oh, nice.
So October 21st.
Where are you doing
at
it?
Vecino. What's that?
Oh, here?
Yeah, here. That'll be the first time that we do it here.
Yeah, we do all the UFC stuff at Taurus, and we're going to start doing UFC and boxing here.
So
So if you don't go to Clevelander, then you come here.
Right. Just
Right.
like if you're not.
two very different. I don't think anybody's between being in the beach or being over here for a fight. So,
Probably agree.
Yeah.
so all right, and this is where the thing ends.
Thanks, Matt.
Stick around after.
Stick around. Give us your $1 for the next 5 questions with Matt Kush.
Lightning round on the other side of this air horn.
Beep, 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 beep.